So, as you know, yesterday we started going through a poem called The Aliveness by Ili Chiaro, Life is Eternal Newness. And that first little section there, we talked a little bit about the divine, although because this is an Advaita text, uh, God is not personified. God is simply kept as other. Anything that is not you falls into the category of part of the divine, and even you. But until until you break that barrier, you're not aware of that oneness until the ego is dissolved. And so he said, the source that has created everything has no beginning and no end. It only exists beyond time and space. We talked a little bit about that in mind. So I'm going to read another couple of stanzas here. It, meaning the divine or this energy or this isness or God, it created everything and exists in the universe. It is indescribable kindness and wisdom. If you are confused, deeming these words as empty and lacking in content, let us investigate the mysterious aliveness together. So really, this is one of the things that I really enjoy about Eastern philosophy, is that it's not really interested or about telling you what is. It's more about, the emphasis is more about, these are what the sages have found. These are what the great souls have discovered through their efforts and their practice. But it's a purely subjective experience, meaning you can't show it to somebody else. It happens within you, yourself. And so they have this experience. And if you want to know, they will often try and describe it to you, although it's something beyond words. It's something that's non-describable. But they will often say, well, here are the tools that I used to discover this and find it. And so it's never about making you believe something if you're not ready to believe it or to know it. It's about the process, about clearing the mind, purifying the mind. So he goes on and he says, it has created everything in the universe. It is indescribable wisdom and kindness. If you are confused, deeming these words as empty, lacking in content, let us investigate the mysterious aliveness together. So that's his invitation. If you don't believe these things, no worries. There's nothing wrong with your heart. You're not a bad person. None of that. No judgments about it. It's like, if you can't or don't think these things are true, no worries. But if you're interested, if you want to know whether they're true, if you want to do the investigation yourself, come along. Let's investigate this mysterious aliveness together, this mystery of being, of your own existence. He says, we don't start this journey with a mind full of opinions or theories, for it would become an obstacle. Such deceit prevents the investigation. So he says, part of the thing that causes us to not believe or to not figure these things out or not be able to see these things is that we bring tons of baggage with us. All of our past experience, all of our beliefs, all of our ideas, all of our biases, all of our prejudices all come in our mind, and we always apply them to the moment that we're living in, which prevents us from being able to see objectively, to see the moment as it is. According to the sages, if you see this moment as it is God, it is divine, it is alive, it is consciousness. It's not what you think it is. Actually, the word for what you think it is called Maya. So our misunderstood perspective of the world, based largely upon the fault that we don't know who we are, and it's hard to know what other things are in a relative universe if you're comparing them to something, meaning yourself, that you don't know what the nature of that self is. So we don't start this journey with a mind full of opinions or theories. It becomes an obstacle. Such deceit or such misunderstanding or such wrong thinking prevents the investigation. Therefore, we set off totally relaxed, all right, totally just chilled out, free from what we have accumulated throughout time. So trying to do away with any information about the world or yourself that you've gotten through experience, through the senses, through body-mind. We eliminate the past through all-encompassing attention, focalized on the present. So we just completely open to this present moment, to the now, and just leave everything else silent. We simply are here, and we open up to feeling the body in this moment, We were watching the mind and its movement without identifying with it, just watching it in its movements in this moment. We eliminate the past through all-encompassing attention, focalized on the present, encountering images and thoughts arising from the ancestral past and memory, knowing that all of your thoughts are sourced in the past, past experiences. And that's one of the reasons that we're never present, is we're always living in mind, and thoughts are never in the present. They're always just slightly behind the present. So we actually live in the past when we live in the mind. So we're going to do away with all that. We're going to practice just observing. We're not going to own our own thoughts. We're not going to own our own body. We're not going to own our own mind. We're simply going to observe it all, since we uniquely have that capability inside of third partying, even our mind. We're watching it think. We are watching our body do whatever it does. The mind, an empty vessel, all right, meaning we're not stirring up the thoughts. The mind, an empty vessel, free from time, because time is of mind. Time is not an inherent reality. We don't know what it is. It's a rate of change, and I think I shared one time in my own contemplations about this. I think time basically is the rate of thought in your mind, and if you have less thought or no thought, there's no experience of time. And if you have a noisy, loud mind, then there's lots of experience of time, lots of feeling for it. So free from time, therefore completely independent, right? We're not basing any of our experience on another experience. We're not basing any thought on any other thought. We're trying to clear the slate completely. Completely independent, the mind is able to encompass the newness of life, eternally new, never repeating itself. So this moment is always fresh and always new, and the wonderful and beautiful implication of that is that you are always getting a fresh start. From moment to moment to moment, everything is new. And you can let go of your past, you can let go of your ideas, all of your cause and effects that have got you living either in the past or in the future and full of anxiety. You always have permission to set those down and take a moment, this moment, for yourself, free from anything else. So the mind is able to encompass the newness of life, eternally new, never repeating itself, traveling together, each for himself. Here is what we accomplish. Let us continue. And we'll pick that up for tomorrow, the rest of it. But just this notion that the tools that we have to observe the moment is really ourself. And to understand that we're observing a mind, not owning it, observing a body, not owning it, right? As part of the rules of the investigation is to clear out all of the dust of wrong conclusions, wrong understandings that's based on the idea of you being a body-mind, And just for fun, I'll just remind you, you're not always this body-mind. You think you are, but every night when you go to sleep and you dream, you take on a new body. You take on a new mind. You take on a new world. And you forget all about the dreamer in the bed. You forget all about that life, all of its memories, all of its worries, all of its plans. All those things are laid aside. And in that time in the dream, you enter a new world of your own creation. After leaving this world of your own creation, you enter yet another world, and everything in there is you, but you don't see it that way. You still pick a particular perspective, and you walk through the dream. So understand that we're trying to see the dream as the dreamer, and not as the dreamed, right? So we're trying to see this world not as ourself being in this world, but really and truly, the sages say that ultimately we come to an understanding that this world exists only within us, just like our dream world exists within ourself, and both worlds are equally convincing. So this is how we start the journey. This information is how we go forward to make our spiritually scientific investigation into the aliveness